Hi there guys, my name's Sam Oakley from Paradigm Fitness and Accomplished Kettlebells, where we work with men and women to greatly enhance their training programs, spice up their training routines, and really have a positive effect towards majority of their training goals, whether it's toning, weight loss or sports performance. We specialise in movement performance and getting our clients moving better, and looking in detail what functions and what movements they want to perform better at, and creating quite in-depth programs that revolve around those specific functions. Today I want to talk to you about multiplanar movement and the importance of multiplanar movement. Now, we move in three planes of motion. We move forwards and backwards, we move sideways, and we move rotationally as well. Now, examples of this might be me running from A to B, like on a treadmill or running down the street. That's what we'd class as more dominant in the forwards plane motion. Okay, the second plane of motion is side to side. So for example, me staying face to face the camera now and just reaching down here and coming back up would be in a sideways motion. There's no real rotation there. There's no real sort of forwards and backwards movement in there. It's majority all to the side. And the last one would be rotation. So me turning and, for example, grabbing my seatbelt in the car, turning away and putting my seatbelt into its socket. That would be the rotational plane. Now, all of these planes do have a name. The forwards backwards plane we call the sagittal plane, and the sideways motion plane being the frontal plane, and the rotational motions being the the transverse plane. And we'll talk about that a bit more in sort of future videos, and we'll go into a little bit more depth. Today, all I want to look at is a few exercises that can be done through all three planes of motion. And where I say a few, every exercise can be done through three planes of motion. Whether you're squatting, whether you're lunging, whether you're reaching, whether you're pivoting, whatever you're doing, anything, any movement, any activity is always done through three planes of motion. So today I want to look at a couple of exercises and give you a couple of exercises that you can do to get you started training in three planes of motion. Our muscles react differently through three planes. Now, this is one of the reasons why we use the three planes of motion within our training. Muscles react to movement. Now, as we move differently, so as I move through the frontal plane rather than the sagittal plane, my muscles will react differently, and I might use different muscles than I may in the sagittal plane. Muscles may work harder through one plane than another. And there's a lot of differences. So if I only train in one plane, let's say the sagittal plane, I'm going to be missing out two big planes where my muscles aren't going to be sort of being used. My glutes, for example, in my bum, I know prefer motion and really like to react through the frontal plane and the transverse plane. So if I don't train in those two planes, I only train in the sagittal plane, am I going to get a great workout for my butt? Probably not. So I want to make sure that I'm always training in three planes of motion. This goes for a lot of different muscles, for a lot of different movements all throughout the body. So we're going to just take you through a couple of examples. We're going to look at a jump, we're going to look at a reach, we'll look at a squat, we'll look at a lunge, and we'll also look at an exercise on the ground. We'll use a crawl. And we'll take you through how to perform all those movements through three planes of motion. Have a little watch. You can do these anywhere. You can do them at home. You can do them pretty much anywhere. Try and feel the difference throughout your body as well. Try and sort of feel the differences of what's going on and the different reactions around your body. You may notice that going through the sideways lunges and the rotational lunges, you'll feel more in your butt than going through maybe the sagittal plane lunge. So have a little feel, play around with them, and see how you get on. So we've taken you through a lunge through 3 planes of motion, a squat through 3 planes of motion, a jump through 3 planes, a crawl through 3 planes, and a single leg reach through 3 planes of motion. Really goes to show that you can do any what we call base movement through 3 planes of motion. And when you think that life is governed by all of these base movements, whether it's a lunge, a reach, a jump, a hop, a huge variety of different movements, they all can be put through 3 different planes. Your exercise library becomes quite big. So yeah, we've given you 5 exercises there. Give them a try them out. Your body's going to react totally different. Your muscles are going to react differently to each one. They're a great starting point to bring in multiplanar movement. Now, if you want to learn a lot more in depth about multiplanar exercise and bringing in multiplanes into your exercise training, and maybe bringing in different tools such as kettlebells, vipers, that sort of thing into your program and using them through different planes of motion, we run kettlebell workshops where we look at the kettlebell movements. We go through all the fundamental movements of the kettlebell, from swings to cleans, presses, snatches, all the key fundamental movements basically. But then we take them into looking at them through 3 planes of motion. So rather than looking at a swing through just the sagittal plane, forwards and backwards, we'll look at the swing with maybe a frontal plane step. We might look at a kettlebell snatch to a forwards lunge, or a kettlebell snatch to a side lunge, or even a rotational lunge. We try and bring in the base movement, but also bring in the base movement in different planes of motion. So we really spice up your kettlebell exercises. We really bring in a bit of a twist to your fundamental movements that's going to get your body working a lot harder, and just totally put a different workload onto your joints, onto your body. It's fantastic for getting your heart rate up nice and high. It's great for really improving your movement and your movement capabilities, looking at focus, strength as we call it, good stabilization across the body. It's just very, very good. So if you're interested in this, you can come to one of our free workshops. To sign up to one of those, we're based in the Coventry area in the West Midlands. To sign up to one of our workshops, please go to www.accomplishkettlebells.co.uk, and you'll see a little box on the right hand side. Pop your details in there, click the button, and we will get back to you to book you into one of our workshops. Alternatively, if you're not in our area, we also have an online training client where we put all of our exercises, whether it's with kettlebells, vipers, dumbbells, whatever it is, we put them all up online. There's video demonstrations on there as well, and you can sign up to this and get full sort of multiplanar programs with various different movements, quite a large exercise library in fairness. You can sign up to this as well. Now this is through as I said, our online training platform. If you want a bit more information on this, please contact us at info@paradigmfitness.co.uk, and we should get back in touch with you on how you can sign up to that and really start making a big difference to your current exercise regime, and really start to hit those goals a lot faster than you might be doing at the moment. In terms of this video, that's everything for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you've learned a little bit and you're going to get a lot from those little exercises that we've given you. We will see you next week for our next video.